Alright guys, what's going on? It's your boy Augy-E, back again with another video. So first story of the week, we're going to start off with a story coming out of Chicago. Officer Jason Van Dyke with the Chicago Police Department was recently sentenced to 81 months in prison for the shooting of Laquan Mcdonald back in 2014.
So this is not easy, and I don't expect it to be easy. My findings are an appropriate sentence would be 81 months in the Illinois Department of Corrections, 2 years mandatory supervised release. Mr. Van Dyke.
Now, he was found guilty of second-degree murder. Now, I'm gonna play you the video of the shooting. So this is it is a little bit graphic. So when you watch that video, I'll tell you what I feel. I see, obviously, you see the young man, he's there surrounded by police, but he has not engaged the police, and he has not, he hasn't made any threatening moves. He has not made any threatening moves towards the police. And then for Officer Van Dyke to shoot Laquan 16 times, the initial reports that they filed because anytime police officers have a shooting or anything, they have to file a report. They said that he lunged at him. They said that Laquan lunged at the officers. At no point in that video did he lunge at him. Okay. Fast forward to 2019. Officer Jason Van Dyke is now sentenced to 81 months in prison. So on one hand, I'm happy that the family gets justice for what has happened. On the other hand, 81 months for clearly abusing your power as a police officer, I don't feel good about that. And they only found him guilty of second-degree murder. To me, that looked like straight up execution. He was either angry, raged up. I don't know what he was thinking in terms of the officer, but he wanted to kill somebody that night. I don't know. Okay. But what's done is done. There's really nothing that can be done from this point going forward. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on to the next story, because that story, I don't know. When I think about stories like that, it kind of makes me angry, because when I tell people there is an issue in not just Chicago or big cities, in this whole country, there's an issue with police officers and black people. Some people refuse to see the situation. They'll start talking about, well, black people kill each other all the time. Whatever race you are, if you're white, black, Asian, Chinese, Mexican, whatever, you're most likely to be killed by someone else of your own race. So again, I don't know. I don't like talking about these stories, but you have to talk about them because they're in the news right now. But going on to the next story, Trump is in the news. Big whoop. So why is Trump in the news now? Trump's in the news for a lot of reasons, but the big reason to me right now is Buzzfeed recently put out a whole report basically stating that during the 2016 election, Trump instructed his lawyer, which is Robert Mueller, to lie to Congress and say that he was not in negotiations with Russia to build a Trump Tower. Now Mueller's office has now what am I doing? Roll clip.
Major headline involving the president tonight. Democrats in Congress are now demanding answers after a report from BuzzFeed News claiming that President Trump directed his former fixer Michael Cohen to lie to Congress about a Trump Tower deal in Moscow. And they report that Robert Mueller's investigators have documents that prove it. Tonight, the president's lawyer and the White House now firing back. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, President Trump's former attorney and confidant, Michael Cohen, arriving home from shoulder surgery, as Democrats vow to investigate that new report claiming the president directed him to lie to Congress.
The recent articles are quite disturbing. If Mr. Trump instructed him to lie repeatedly.
But tonight, that Buzzfeed report, which ABC News has not confirmed, getting unprecedented pushback from special counsel Robert Mueller. That report alleges that, according to 2 law enforcement sources, President Trump directed Cohen to lie about plans to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Cohen admits he lied when he told lawmakers the Moscow project was abandoned in January 2016. In fact, negotiations to build the tower continued until that June, deep into the campaign. The president repeatedly claimed he had no business deals in Russia.
I have nothing to do with Russia.
I have no relationship to Russia whatsoever.
I have nothing to do with Russia.
Now, Mueller's office has now put out a report saying that Buzzfeed's they've actually put out a statement to go against Buzzfeed's reports, basically saying that Buzzfeed's report is inaccurate. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably like, why do we care? Well, this is just another thing. Sorry about that. This is just another thing in the whole history of Trump's presidency. The reason why this one is really important is because if Trump instructed his lawyer to lie to Congress, that would be considered obstruction of justice. And if the Democrats can find concrete evidence that there was obstruction of justice by a sitting president, this can lay the groundwork for an impeachment of Trump. All the other stuff where Trump is, all these other things, the strippers and all the other allegations, blah, 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 that's one thing. But this is one true fire way where they can basically get Trump out of office. If they can find concrete evidence, witnesses, documents that basically back up this BuzzFeed report. So I don't know. This one's kind of big. So we'll see what happens with this one, but I'm gonna keep moving forward. Now, next thing on my list. You guys remember this Fyre Festival? Remember that back in it was like 2017? Roll clip.
All these models like in the Bahamas. The most insane festival the world has ever seen.
Island getaway turned disaster.
It became very barbaric.
Right now, we are the fucking laughing stock of everything.
Just wait until you see what you're getting yourselves into.
American rapper Ja Rule is in the Bahamas with his business partner,
Billy McFarlane.
Is an amazing entrepreneur.
He can convince anyone of pretty much anything.
They just bought an island. Pablo Escobar's island. Oh my gosh.
Ding! We're gonna throw a festival, yeah.
Within 48 hours,
they sold out. These guys are either completely full of shit or they're the smartest guys in the room.
Well, this Fyre Festival was supposed to be like the biggest festival. It was supposed to top all the festivals. It was supposed to be better than Lollapalooza and, I don't know, Rolling Loud. Like any festival, this was supposed to top it. Now, the founder of Fyre Media, Billy McFarlane, some 20-year-old kid, he was basically in over his head. Like, I watched this Netflix documentary, and what they were promising was ridiculous. They were promising people villas, like nice housing. They were promising people celebrities are going to be there. Kendall Jenner, Haley Baldwin, all these models are going to be there. All these headlining acts are going to be there. But in reality, they had nothing. They barely had a stage built. The villas, the housing that they had was basically FEMA tents that were left over from a previous hurricane, and just a whole other list of just like broken promises. Like, they were basically overselling what they could do and under delivering. Like, and that's in any type of business, you're supposed to do it the other way. You're supposed to flip it. You're supposed to under promise and then over deliver. But yeah, I watched that documentary, and yeah, so long story short, Billy McFarlane has been sentenced to prison, which is rightfully so, because they filed a class action lawsuit against him, basically saying, hey man, that Fyre Festival that cost us millions of dollars, and you have millions of dollars in investors, and you had people coming in from all over the country, from the world, to come see this huge fest, that didn't happen, you basically defrauded people out of their money, and you should go to jail. And that's where he's in jail as well. Now, I know Ja Rule is also one of the partners of this. I don't know where they are currently at in the legal proceedings with Ja Rule, but Ja Rule has also, you know, if you look into his history, he's had a history of, you know, in and out of prisons as well. So I don't know if they're coming after him, but yeah, like, long story short, don't promise things that you can't do. Like, just don't do that. Don't promise things that you cannot do. Okay, and then my last story for this week will be that YouTube is now making their videos, or actually they're changing their rules. YouTube is basically removing anything they consider to be dangerous or harmful content on the platform. Roll the clip.
YouTube is now cracking down on dangerous stunts following a wave of videos that mimic the hit movie Bird Box.
Do not take your blindfolds off. Do not.
In the spooky Netflix movie, Sandra Bullock makes a perilous journey wearing a blindfold. Take the blindfold off and evil spirits drive you insane.
I cannot see anything.
But this is no movie. It's crazy video of a driver heading ever so slowly down a street while getting instructions from his passenger.
Just keep going.
This video shows a mom cautiously driving blindfolded and getting advice from her daughter outside the car.
Slow, okay? Slow.
Police in Utah say this is the inevitable aftermath of a Bird Box challenge gone wrong. This happened as a result of the driver covering her eyes while driving, cops tweeted. Predictable result. Now YouTube is updating its policy over dangerous challenges and pranks.
I don't mind this. I'm not a little kid, so when I see somebody eating a Tide Pod, or if I see somebody doing a Bird Box challenge where you cover your eyes and then you start driving a car, like, obviously those things are stupid, but there's a lot of stupid people out there. So if YouTube needs to basically across the board say, if you're a creator, you're making content where you're encouraging people to do dangerous pranks, or you're doing dangerous pranks, or you're doing something that could be considered traumatizing, they're just not going to host it, I'm for it. Because honestly, within the last probably within the last 5 to 6 years, there's been a lot of just stupid content that's been on YouTube. And I could even say I'm guilty of it too, because, you know, me and my friends and my brothers, we do a lot of stupid stuff and we post on YouTube, but I don't think we've ever done anything where we're going to tell other people, hey, go potentially harm yourself or go harm someone else. We've never done anything like that, and there's a lot of creators out there that are doing that. Not maybe intentionally, but because if you have 10 million subscribers and your fan base is all from 10 to 20, mostly little kids, and they see you doing something crazy, guess what? Now they're gonna want to do something crazy because you're influencing them to do something crazy. Regardless of whether that's your intent or not, that is what is happening. And now YouTube is saying across the board they're getting rid of it, and I can't hate YouTube for that. I actually agree with YouTube. Yeah, get rid of the dangerous content. There's other social media platforms out there where their rules are not as strict, so people can put their stuff on that platform if they want. Or you could create some other website where you have your followers go here if they want to see the 100% uncensored content. You can go there and watch it on that. But on YouTube, I think there has to be some sort of like, let's try to make this a safe space. I mean, I know it's impossible because there's a million creators. There's over 1 million creators, but let's at least try to make this a safe space for everyone, and actually do good. Like, social media should actually try to do good for once in society instead of promoting stupidity. But yeah, that is the end of the video. So like, share, and subscribe. Ugh, God. All right, guys. I'll see you next week, man.